Is debt really a bad thing? Is there such thing as good debt? Well, we're going to talk about that today. You may hear Dave Ramsey talk about being debt-free and all debt is being bad. I don't necessarily agree with that stance, and there is good debt. For example, when looking at buying a home, it's virtually impossible in today's environment to do that successfully without taking on debt. And this is debt for an asset that will hopefully appreciate significantly over time. Another area where I feel there's good debt is if you do the proper research and figure out the educational route that's best for you. It may not be a bad thing to take on debt for that education, because as long as you've done your research and the return on your investment, meaning the return on that debt, is going to lead you to greater income for now and in the future, it could very well be a great thing. You may be hearing people talk about you have to pay off your home early. And we talked about whether or not that's a good idea for you in a recent video, so be sure to check that one out. For you, let's also consider liquidity, having money available for other uses. Now, just because you have this debt doesn't mean that you shouldn't be thinking about other avenues to steer that liquidity that you're getting as a result of having that mortgage. So things like making sure that your emergency fund is filled, making sure that you're allocating some of that liquidity to your retirement. Again, I've talked about this very often. It's not an all or none proposition. You don't have to go all in on paying all your debt off, as long as it's good debt, and you don't have to go saving everything for retirement. There's a happy medium for you, and it's all about finding what that medium is for you. If you're a business owner, having some of this debt, for example, like a mortgage, may provide you and your family with the liquidity to invest in your business, invest in the growth of your business. And listen, at the end of the day, you know how fast and how quickly your business is growing and what that investment could return you. And that could very well be multiples above what the cost is of borrowing the money for your mortgage. So if you're thinking that I feel all debt is good from what we've discussed thus far, I would tell you that is not the case either. We haven't talked about the bad forms of debt. So high interest credit card debt, that's a killer. Credit cards should be paid off each and every month, and you should have a game plan to do that. And if you're carrying a balance, you should be figuring out how to pay that down as quickly as possible. Personal loans, another form of bad debt. Payday loans, even worse. So there are many different forms of bad debt, but don't let the bad debt fool you. There is good debt also, as we've discussed. Debt is complicated, and to find out what debt might be right for you or how you can put yourself in the best position possible, reach out to a financial advisor, have a conversation, or reach out to us. I'd love to speak with you further on this topic. I'm Larry Sprung from Midland Financial, where we strive to bring joy to your money journey. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos, and we'll see you next time.